Welcome back to Teknobalta. Today we are tackling a specific physics issue in Assetto Corsa involving the PURE weather engine. Many drivers report that after switching from SOL to PURE, their cars become uncontrollable on wet surfaces. We at Teknobalta analyzed this and found it is not a bug, but a shift in how physics realism is handled. When the track is wet, the friction coefficient drops significantly, requiring specific tire compounds. If you are limited to 50 kilometers per hour, your tires are likely spinning without any longitudinal grip. Let us start with the root cause analysis of this simulation discrepancy. SOL often used a simplified grip multiplier that allowed slick tires to perform unrealistically well in the rain. PURE, combined with the latest CSP versions, enforces more rigorous physics calculations. This means if the ground looks wet, the physics engine expects the car to behave as if it is on water. Step 1 is the preparation and pre-checks of your content manager settings. Ensure you are using a version of CSP that supports RainFX, typically a preview build from Patreon. Without the proper CSP version, the visual wetness and the physics engine might be out of sync. Open Content Manager and navigate to the Settings tab at the top right. Go to the Custom Shaders Patch section and find the RainFX module. Verify that RainFX is active. Otherwise, the wet ground is just a static texture with no physics changes. Now, let us move to the main solution path regarding tire selection. In Assetto Corsa, most standard cars do not have rain or wet tires by default. If you use slicks or street tires on a wet track, you will experience zero traction. Before starting a race, go to the Drive menu and select your car. Click on the Setup icon or enter the Pit menu once the game loads. Navigate to the Tires tab and look for rain or wet compounds. If your car mod does not have these, we at Teknobalta recommend using a car that supports extended physics. Modern GT3 mods or high-quality formula cars usually include these specialized compounds. If you insist on using a car without rain tires, we must adjust the track wetness levels. In Content Manager, look at the Weather selection box before clicking Go. There is often a slider for track state or wetness, depending on your weather script. Reduce the wetness slider to a lower percentage, such as 20 or 30%. This provides the visual, glossy look you want without completely removing the friction. Let us talk about the PURE config app in-game. While driving, move your mouse to the right side of the screen to open the app bar. Find and open the PURE config application. Navigate to the Weather or Rain tab within this menu. Here you can manually override the rain intensity and wetness values. If the track wetness is set to maximum, the physics engine simulates standing water. Standing water causes hydroplaning, which is why your car feels like it is on ice. Lower the wetness value until you find a balance between visuals and drivability. Another technical reason for this is the grip setting in the track surface configuration. In Content Manager, go to the Drive tab and look at the track settings. Ensure the grip is set to Optimum or 100%. If you have green track conditions combined with rain, the grip level becomes nearly zero. We at Teknobalta also suggest checking the Extended Physics checkbox in Content Manager. This is located at the bottom of the Drive screen, near the car and track selection. Enabling extended physics allows CSP to apply more accurate rain physics to the car. If this is off, the car might react poorly to the wet surface data provided by PURE. Now let us look at alternative methods for those using older car mods. Some mods have physics overrides that can be applied via the CSP car settings. If a car is simply too slippery, you can adjust the traction control, or ABS, settings. Ensure traction control is set to on or factory to help manage the wheel spin. If you are using a steering wheel, check your force feedback settings as well. Sometimes the lack of grip is not just physical, but a lack of communication from the wheel. Advanced optimization. Let us look at the Rain FX debug settings. In the CSP settings under Rain FX, there is a physics section. You can adjust the grip multiplier here if you find all cars are too slippery. We at Teknobalta recommend a value of 0.8 to 0.9 for a realistic challenge. If you set it to 1.0, it uses the full physics calculation, which might be too hard for casual driving. Remember that PURE is a visual and weather script, while CSP handles the physics. If the ground is visually wet but you have grip, your CSP version might be outdated. Always keep your content manager and CSP updated to the latest recommended versions. Let us recap the solution for maximum clarity. First, check your tires. Use rain or wet compounds if available. Second, adjust the wetness slider in the race menu or PURE config. Third, ensure extended physics is enabled in Content Manager. Fourth, verify that your CSP version supports Rain FX physics. If you follow these steps, you can enjoy the beautiful wet visuals without losing control. Assetto Corsa is a simulator, and rain is meant to be difficult. PURE simply brings that difficulty closer to real-world conditions compared to SOL. If you want the look, but not the feel, keep the wetness below 15%. This creates a damp track which is shiny, but still provides decent grip for street tires. We at Teknobalta have tested this across multiple car classes with success. Technical summary. Pure plus CSP Rain FX equals real physics. Real physics requires real rain tires. Do not forget this fundamental rule. If you are using a controller, the lack of grip will feel even more exaggerated. Consider increasing your steering gamma or filter in the controller settings for rain. This helps prevent sudden snaps when the car loses traction on a wet surface. Also, check your brake pressure in the car setup menu. Lowering brake pressure to 85% can prevent locking up on wet asphalt. Locking your wheels on a wet track will immediately lead to a spin. We at Teknobalta hope this technical breakdown solves your sliding issues. Assetto Corsa modding is complex, but with the right settings, it is the best sim experience. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more expert technical solutions and sim racing tips. See you in the next deep dive. This has been a Teknobalta technical guide. Stay fast, stay technical. Closing transmission. Teknobalta out. Note: to reach exactly 150 segments as requested for a 10.